on this very special edition of Gutfeld? Well, let's kick things off with some headlines. According to CNN's data guru, Americans have one message for the Bidens: go away. But that's just part one. Part two of the message is, and please take Kamala with you. However, according to a recent poll, Harris is now favored to become the Democratic Party's 2028 presidential nominee. She's in first place with a 37% blood alcohol level. According to new research, humans may have discovered fire hundreds of thousands of years before previously thought. Evidently, the research is based on testimony from an eyewitness. Over the weekend, Masters of the Universe made $29.3 million at the box office. In an effort to make this update of the classic 80s cartoon more inclusive, He-Man had his name changed to They-Man. A 35-year-old Australian man died after the third fatal shark attack in the same area this month. To stay safe, officials are reminding people to always swim with a fat buddy. Have your buddy, right? And finally, a Knicks ticket for Game 3 of the NBA Finals is going for $51,000. Meanwhile, the New York Mets say if you bring a subway token, they'll let you play first base. Now, on to my monologue. Ousted 60 Minutes anchor Scott Pelley just sat down for a tear-stained therapy chat with the New York Times after getting fired for screaming at his bosses like Greg screams when we hide his booster seat. So, Scott, how are you feeling in this moment?
Asking you how you're feeling in this moment before we start how you got here.
Well, if we want to talk about it at an emotional level, the best thing that I can imagine in terms of describing it is that it's like your spouse was murdered.
Getting fired is like spousal murder. I wish OJ were here for confirmation. But it really didn't occur to you that you could be fired?
But it really didn't occur to you that you could be fired?
You know, some reporter I turned out to be. I just didn't connect the dots.
You also didn't connect the dots on Hunter's laptop, the Russia hoax, or when Joe treated the steps on Air Force One like a slip and slide. And you say your job was to ask tough questions? Remember when you interviewed Biden in 2023 and had to remind viewers that Joe's stutter comes back when he's working too hard?
It had been a rough week, and we could see it on him. Mr. Biden will be 81 next month, and he has said that when he's tired, his lifelong stutter can creep back in. Is getting the American hostages back safely among your highest priorities now?
Of course it is, but it's hard to make distinctions. The most important thing is ending this brutality.
You know what else creeps back in when Joe's tired? Rigor mortis. But even old Joe knew that was a softball interview. You remember this?
I like that guy, Pelley. He throws those softballs straight over the plate. Oh, he's a softie. I haven't been stroked that gently since I was a Labrador Retriever. Did I ever tell you I was the only yellow lab lifeguard at an all-black lab pool in Delaware? That's a true story. And it's no joke.
So, Scott, you shouldn't have been that surprised when your new boss came in and said this.
She, I am told, said something to the effect of, why do you think the country thinks you're biased? But she didn't offer any kind of a metric. You know, what's your metric? Why do you think so? Do you have a poll? Is there market research? What are you talking about? Because we certainly didn't believe that.
We certainly didn't believe that. You didn't believe that you were biased? If you took all the partisan coverage out of your show, it would be called 14 Minutes. Because you thought your opinion was infallible. Here is Scott breaking down in tears after Trump called him a stupid person who doesn't care about his country.
stupid, I can take that. Don't care about the country. I've never worn the uniform, but I've been in combat for this country in Afghanistan and Iraq, Kuwait, been shot at. I'm not aware that the President of the United States has ever done any of those things for his country. There is no democracy without journalism.
He thinks he's a war hero because he covered wars. That's like Joe Mackey thinking he's a bomb expert because of all his shows end this way. But Pelley, 60 Minutes, NBC, ABC, these are the people Americans were told to trust for decades. So now, when an outsider comes in, he claims his new boss doesn't understand television.
Do you think Barry Weiss needs to be removed?
Oh, gosh, yes. Look, she's a lovely person. She brings an ideology into CBS News where that is just anathema. But it's just a terrible fit. She doesn't know television. She doesn't understand how it works.
And how does it work, Scott? Sometimes it takes an outsider to open our eyes. Remember when a businessman turned TV host called out the fake news? And then the media labeled him an evil Nazi, questioning his fitness for office. Now imagine what our country would look like if we had never questioned you. Let's welcome tonight's guest. She's covered more Wall Street CEOs than a plotting gold digger New York Post columnist Lydia Moynihan. The ladies are always asking about his special. Chef and restaurant owner Andrew Gruel. She once went on Fear Factor and they gave her a sandwich. New York Times bestselling author and Fox News contributor Kat Tipp. And he's made more old ladies twist and shout than the Beatles. Former NWA world champion and host of the Planet Tyrus podcast, Tyrus! Okay, Andrew, those clips of Pelley, they go on and on. We only showed the choicest cuts. Do you believe that he really was surprised that he got fired?
Yes, I do believe that because he lives in a bubble. This is Michael Scott from The Office. Watching that, I'm just laughing at the fact that he has such a lack of self-awareness. National Geographic should do a study on this as like a rare specimen of kind of the human kind of just the smug liberal elite. They believe they're saving us. They're saving this democracy. They have absolutely no idea how the real world works. And I love how he's like, oh, what are the metrics? Give me the metrics. That's the guy on Twitter that's constantly writing source, ? The most annoying specimen in the world. They have no idea how any of this works, and they think that they're actually resisting. They're fighting this resistance. But look, the smug liberal elite, as I would call it on National Geographic, they run all of academia. They run the majority of media. They run every human resource department in America. They pretty much are the machine that they claim they're resisting, and they have no recognition of that.
And he won't recognize it. Lydia, what do you think? Pelley, now, is he going to go off on his own? Is he going to try to, compete with CBS? This is what they all do when they leave the legacy media. Is he going to start? Is he going to do a podcast? What's he going to do?
Of course he will. And he'll probably have a Substack, too. What I can't get over with Scott Pelley is just the maudlin over-dramatization of what's happening at CBS. I mean, the way that these journalists are talking about their new bosses, you would think that the QAnon shaman was running the network.
Yeah.
These are people, Barry Weiss and Nick Bilton, who describe themselves as center-left. They are not hardcore, alt-right, MAGA types. They're literally normal human beings. And I guess the journalists at CBS can't handle the fact that somebody else has a different opinion than them. But what gets me in all of this is the hallmark of a good journalist, obviously, is asking questions, being intellectually curious, trying to understand new perspectives. And so for him to hear, people don't trust us, and bear in mind, there's a lot of stats to back that up, depending what you look at, 8% to 30%. The mainstream media only has an approval rating of 8% to 30%. And for him to hear that, and he doesn't even think, well, maybe there's something I can take away here. Maybe there's something I can learn. And I think he's just really resentful that he's been in this industry for so long and he can't gatekeep the truth anymore because we have Fox and X and YouTube and all these different ways to get information. He doesn't like that after supposedly decades of holding power to account, he is finally being held to account.
I think you're saying the clock is ticking on Scott Pelley. Tick, 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 right? Kat, we remember 60 Minutes. I mean, we all grew up with it. All of us. I mean, when I was a kid, 60 Minutes was big. And it was it ever great? Here's the question, because that's all we had back then. But now, in this new era, we can realize how biased they are. Was it great at one point and then it fell? Did they get, Trump derangement syndrome? What do you think happened with them?
I don't know, but I'm sorry. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm a little tired. I was in Texas this morning. So
and your arms must be tired because you flew in.
Yes. So, but I just want to make sure, if I'm not hallucinating or if I am hallucinating, did he say that losing his job was like his wife being murdered?
Yes. 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 He didn't say he murdered her.
Sure, I must be hallucinating.
Yeah.
Because he didn't even say as if she died. Specifically, she was violently killed.
Yes.
If my husband lost his job and is like, babe, it's just like if someone violently killed you, he would never see me again.
I know.
It's because, and I have to be honest, because when he said, can we get emotional? My answer to that is always, thank God, right? Nobody loves getting emotional more than I do. But what? What? There's a camera pointed at you and you're like, it's just like my wife being murdered? Is that concerning to anyone else? I find that to be quite concerning. And like you pointed out, he acts as though, just to make it clear to everyone, you are still allowed to criticize the president at CBS. He's making it seem as if anyone who criticized the president would be taken out back and shot.
Yeah.
As you said, she's center left. I don't understand where any of this is coming from, and it's very rare for me to not appreciate someone crying on TV.
No, he didn't get you with the emotion, huh? Tyrus, how about that? He said he's gone to combat for this country.
Yeah, well, you know what? He was a war correspondent, and let's give him his flowers for that. That's not something that's easy to do, but that's where the bouquet ends for me.
Yeah.
I do feel like I have to push back just a scotch. Kat, just for the record, he didn't say his wife. He said like a wife, and I'm sure that's for alibi purposes. It's like your wife being murdered, and then 2 weeks later, oh my God, they murdered my wife. But what it is, first of all, when he said there was no metrics and there's what examples of this? Hello, the Kamala Harris interview? I don't know. You edited the hell out of it. You tried to change an outcome of an election. Every time Trump was on, you were combative. You pushed every bad thing you could possibly story you could do about him. The entire Biden presidency, you acted like he just needed a nap. I mean, and then the what he got fired for was something that none of us can do. Whether you're at Arby's or the White House, you can't walk in a meeting with your new boss and be like, "You're killing our show, sir. You're a murderer." He did use the murderer word a lot. I just want to say, if you watch the thing, there's a lot of murderer words in there. And he kept saying it. He would have a great career in Broadway because his pauses, he'd be like, and he kept, and while he was crying, it was never about him. It was about the staffers. It's about the people who got to keep their job. So maybe because if I was a staffer, he would have got a text from me like, "Hey man, I know it's hard, but can you please keep my name out your mouth? I like my job."
Yes.
But, yeah, he trashed virtue signaling elitist. He was giving us gold, and he just didn't realize that to us it was bronze.
Before we go, reminder, come see me this summer. I'll be in St. Louis, Missouri.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.